Hey, what's up, everybody? This is BJ Murphy here with Miss Yolanda Trotman. She is an attorney here in Charlotte, and she is running for a district court judge here in Mecklenburg County. Welcome, and how are you, Miss Trotman?
I'm doing well, BJ. Thank you.
All right, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're from High Point, North Carolina.
Yes.
And you were a former Charlotte Mecklenburg school teacher.
Yes.
And then you became an attorney. Tell us about that journey.
Well, my journey first began in the classroom, as you said. I was a high school teacher, and I taught history, psychology. I coached debate and speech, and I coached mock trial at North Mecklenburg High School for 3 years. What actually brought me to Charlotte was my undergraduate work at UNC Charlotte, proud 49er.
All right, go ahead.
And I was a North Carolina teaching fellow.
Okay.
And so I taught 3 years and decided that I wanted to go after my real dream, which was to become an attorney, which kind of knew I wanted to be an attorney since I was a little kid. Ended up in Pittsburgh at the University of Pittsburgh School of Law. Loved it.
Wow.
But realized just how Southern I am.
Right.
And had to come back to North Carolina, which I did, and began at the Public Defender's Office for 2 years. And then for the past 10 years, I've been in my own private practice doing criminal defense and family law.
I remember when I first met you, I said, that's a powerful woman right there. There's something about you. I was thinking in the back of my mind that you would attempt something like this, because you're definitely well qualified to run for district court judge in Mecklenburg County. What was the determining factor that said I want to get in this and run?
Well, it was a tough decision. I had not planned to run for judge now, honestly. I have a wonderful law practice. I love what I do. I love the advocacy.
Yeah.
I love helping people and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's ironic how things are put in motion that you don't understand at the time.
Yeah.
And how things are put in place for you that you don't understand at the time. Big believer in faith and affirmation.
Yeah.
So there were a number of things that happened that I just couldn't ignore.
Mm-hmm.
I just could not ignore, and I prayed about it quite a bit.
Yes.
Because, like I said, that was the hardest thing to wrap my mind around, the possibility of having to give up my practice.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but once I made that decision, what I did is that I spent some time in the courtrooms of several of the judges that were up for re-election, because I wanted to make the right decision for the race that I decided I was going to put my name in. And after I spent some time in some of those courtrooms, I made my decision. So It's been full steam ahead since then.
What do you think needs to change in district court in Mecklenburg County?
Well, I think 3 things. For me, personally, I think we can do better about the atmosphere in the courtroom, what it feels like when one walks into a courtroom.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is how people are being treated, how members of the bar are being treated. And at the end of the day, as judges, we are public servants, and we cannot get away from that.
Yeah.
The second thing I would say that I think is important for me is making sure that we have a deep respect for the law, and having, frankly, sometimes the courage to make the tough decisions that may not be popular.
Right.
But you have to have a respect for the law in terms of making sure that you are following the law and balancing your own temperament, but with the ultimate goal being justice.
Right.
The third thing I would say that's at least, again, most important for me is making sure that we're taking a smarter approach to justice.
Yeah.
Justice is not one size fits all.
Right.
And we have to make sure that we are serving the community, addressing the issues that may bring that person before us in the first place. We're talking about in the criminal setting. But say you're in family court or in juvenile court, understanding the dynamics of the family and taking your personal experiences out of it, and truly understanding what's going on in our communities, because you can't be effective as a judge if you don't understand the everyday problems that people face.
Right. What are some of the duties of a district court judge?
Well, district court covers everything from traffic court, all your misdemeanors. All your felonies begin in district court for up through the probable cause stage. And it also includes family court, it includes juvenile court, and all your civil matters under $25,000.
Okay, that's awesome. Talk about character and respect sitting in that seat, because when you're a moral judge over people's lives, you yourself have to be a person of high character. Talk
Absolutely.
About that.
Well, I think as a judge, you have to understand that the decisions you make affect the lives of everyday people. Your decision can make the difference between a person having a driver's license, the ability to be able to even have an attorney.
Yes, yes.
Your decisions determine whether or not that person gets counsel or not. And it's important to understand that your personal experiences as an individual are not the experiences of everyone that comes before you. And I think that's so critical, especially if you're talking about family court or juvenile court, because I was raised a certain way. I can't assume that everybody was raised the same way that I was. And in order to understand the family dynamic, again, you have to understand what's going on in our communities. As a former high school teacher, you got to understand what's going on with young people. You know, especially when you're talking about a criminal setting where you have a 16, 17-year-old coming before you, potentially having a decision that's going to affect them for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And so that's important to make sure that you understand all of that, and that truly understanding how your decisions not just affect the individual, but also affect the community. Making sure that we're not making decisions that ultimately cost the community money and putting people in jail unnecessarily, and not getting to the heart of the problem, what's bringing that person in there in the first place, if it's drug issues or alcohol issues or whatever the case may be. It's caring enough to ask the right questions.
That's right.
Honestly,
I think if people look at the way you've run your campaign, which I think has been very effective, your whole purpose was to be in the community and let people know that you care.
Yes.
We need judges like that that'll be accessible to people to ask questions and be in the community. Talk about how important that is.
Oh, that's how I was raised. My mother was a high school biology teacher, and she taught me how important it was to always connect with young people. My dad was a Baptist minister, and he taught me how important it was is to remain connected to your community. My dad was very active in the civil rights movement well into the 80s, even when I was a small child, as was my mother. And what I decided very early on when I decided to run was that it was not about just getting my name out there, but truly talking to people. Getting people to care about the judicial races and understanding how important it is that you go to the bottom of the ballot, that you vote, and that you make sure you vote in judicial races. Because one of the first things I say to people when I meet them is that, you know, most people don't vote for the judges because they don't know who to vote for, and they always say, yeah, that's true. And then I always follow that up by saying, but that's so important, especially on the local level, because your life will be affected by a judge before any other elected official.
Thank you.
Any other elected official, and people resonate with that. So, and beyond that, I felt that it was critical for me taking that next step to understand what programs are out there, to understand what's affecting different communities, because I believe it, or I know it will make me more effective, especially when you're talking about funding shortfalls and what a lot of people talk about as far as funding shortfalls within the court system. That's not an excuse. We've got to be able to know what's out there, to be able to connect people who have issues, to be able to address those issues, and to be more creative in our judgments.
Let me ask you, what do you love about Charlotte? You know, being able to serve the people of this city, being a judge, and you're there trying to make a difference. What is it about Charlotte that you love so much?
Charlotte is home for me. I'm a native North Carolinian. But what I love about Charlotte is how it's transforming. When I was here back in I won't say that. Well, when I was back here at UNC Charlotte, UNCC was a suitcase campus, and nobody was downtown or uptown rather after 5 o'clock. And to see that growth and to see that development over the time that I was here as a teacher, but the huge change I saw coming back from Pittsburgh, I think it has become such a more diverse community. Greater opportunities for so many different things, from the arts to engaging young people in different ways. We have such a wonderful community of so many different people from so many different so many different areas of the world, literally. I think that's what's making Charlotte a world-class city, and that's why I want to make sure that I'm here and to help serve the community as well.
That's awesome. So we're getting down to crunch time now. We got the early voting. Why don't you tell everybody about the early voting?
Well, early voting is from October 23rd to November 1st. And you can vote at any location. There's 21 locations, primarily public libraries, convenient to home, convenient to work, convenient to school. Just pick a location. We're encouraging everyone to early vote.
Okay. And of course, November the 4th is? November
4th is Election Day, yes.
Right. So, Attorney Trotman, if you get an opportunity and you're watching that screen and it says Yolanda Trotman, is a district court judge in Mecklenburg County. What is that going to be like on election night?
It's going to be emotional. First thing I know that I will do is thank God. Just let me go to a quiet place and pray. Bittersweet from the standpoint that my parents won't be there. They both passed. No. But the next step in the journey. And I'm so committed. I'm so committed to bringing excellence to the bench. And that's what I'm excited about. So that will be the next step in the journey.
Right. And I wanted to ask you about the community involvement again, because I know it's very important to you that you work with grassroots organizations to help solve some of the problems that are in court, because everything doesn't have to be, send them to jail for X amount of time. It could be resolved in other ways.
Right.
Yeah. Talk about that grassroots real quick.
Well, I am a member, or I actually am on the board of Community Dream Builders, which is a nonprofit organization where we literally build communities from the inside out. And one of the things that I've been most involved in lately is a program called Leaving It Behind, where we literally take young people from particular communities and we take them to a location. There's no cell phones, there's none of that. And we bring kids together that may ordinarily be adversaries. And we believe strongly that if we address issues with young people, that's what makes communities stronger from the very beginning. Now, as far as working with other organizations, I've gotten to know a number of people who have nonprofit organizations that are doing wonderful things in the community, too numerous to name. But that's been extremely helpful because now I know of programs and organizations, particularly with young people, that you can connect them to if there's a situation that we need to address if we have a situation that we need to address that brought that young person to us in the first place. Because what we don't want to do is have the revolving door. And if we don't address some of those issues early, whether it's a mentoring program or whatever it is that we need, if we don't have those programs in place, we cannot blame funding. We cannot continue to blame a lack of funding. We have to be more proactive and more creative.
So let me ask you, what do you want people to know about you? What's something that they don't know about you that they would find interesting?
Well, I would say I'm a good cook.
Okay, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I love to cook.
What's your favorite?
Oh my good, seafood.
Okay.
And baking. But haven't done much of that lately.
Right.
But I love cooking. Huge football fan.
Okay.
But I think if anybody's been to the page, they know I'm a diehard
That's right.
Carolina Panthers fan and a Pitt Panthers fan. And I love to dance.
Really?
I'm a pretty good salsa dancer. Yes.
So we're gonna be doing the electric slide. Not electric slide. What's the new dance?
Ooh, I don't know. Don't call that out.
I can't think. How could I not know it? It's the national anthem of family reunions. Oh man, what is that dance called? Wobble. Yeah, the wobble. Okay.
There may be a little wobble. I can't confirm. But it will definitely be a celebration.
All right, that's gonna be awesome. So I guess that leads to the question of what would be that night. What is the celebration going to be like if you win? If you find that you won the election?
And like I said, it'll be a true celebration. One of the first things that I'm going to do is to pray. I want to get to a quiet place and to just really thank God for getting me through this part of my journey. It'll be somewhat bittersweet. My parents won't be there. They both passed. But it will be the next step, and we are truly going to celebrate, and I'm going to celebrate my volunteers, hands down, because my team, my staff has been unbelievable. And it's not about me, it's about them, because I could not have made it without them, truly.
Well, talk about them. Who are some of the people, like campaign managers?
Yes. So my campaign manager is Annetta Watkins Ford. I have 4 volunteer coordinators who have done an amazing job throughout. And my core crew, as I call them, that are at events that I can appear and come out and support me if I'm at forums and things of that nature. And the people who have been helping out with the social media, that's the core. And I could not possibly have had the type of campaign that we've been able to have without their help.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So, Attorney Trotman, tell me how people can get involved with the campaign.
Well, they can go to my website, which is YolandaTrotmanForJudge.com. There they can donate, they can volunteer. They can also send us an email at inquiries@YolandaTrotmanForJudge.com, or they can give us a call at 980-224-3582. And we still need boots on the ground. This is truly a grassroots campaign. That also helps spread the word. They can like the Facebook page and share it with friends. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram at Yolanda Trotman for Judge, and absolutely help spread the word, because it means so much with these judicial races that we get the word out in terms of who the candidates are so people can make an informed decision.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
November the 4th, we'll be watching the results, and
Yes.
Prayerfully, Attorney Trotman will be your next district court judge here in Mecklenburg County.
Absolutely. Thank you.